Hey everyone, welcome back. This is another rant. Oh boy, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I just want to make clear this is about the whole Nintendo debacle, by the way, about Nintendo charging people for putting that, or not charging people, charging YouTube for people putting Nintendo videos on, or putting Nintendo related gameplay videos on their channels, partnered or not. Basically, if they already have ads on their channels or making revenue from them, Nintendo will get that revenue, and if they don't have ads on there, Nintendo will put ads on there and get that revenue. A sec here. Okay. Alright, so that's basically the way it is, and now I am not going to say that I think Nintendo has no right to do this. A lot of people, I'm going to complain about it, don't get me wrong, I'm going to bitch like fuck about it. I'm not going to say that Nintendo has no right to do this, because the games technically do belong to Nintendo, so by a technical default, Nintendo does have the right to do this. I'm completely aware of that. But I'm still going to bitch like fuck about it. Now, the reason why I think, there's a few reasons why I think this is absolute horseshit. Alright, first off, Let's Plays and playthroughs and walkthroughs have been going around since like 2007 or 8, I think, ever since Slow Beef basically started it up. And it's like Nintendo just noticed that they can make a profit off of this by fucking over Let's Players. They just realized this. Not too, kind of slow, aren't you, Nintendo? That's number one. Number two, I just don't see the point of this. I mean, first off, what about partnered YouTubers that are making their living off of this? They're making the living off the ads, they are off of the money they make off of YouTube. Say DSP Gaming, for example. Alright, he makes a living off of the money he makes off YouTube. Now, he's not one of those YouTubers that only does Nintendo related content, so he probably wouldn't be affected by this as much as ones that only make Nintendo content, because yes, there are those out there, but I'm just bringing him up because he's the first person that came to mind. He makes a living off the money he makes off YouTube. The money he makes off YouTube he uses to put food on the fucking table for himself, okay? I mean, imagine if he did only do Nintendo shit. What then? He'd be fucked. And he'd be forced to get a real job. By the way, I hate that fucking real job excuse. Just wanted to throw that out there. Alright, to me a real job is anything you enjoy doing is able to put food on the table. Period. Okay? But anyways, back on topic though. Yeah, like, for example, Charlie Connery and Nintendo Capri Sun. They only make Nintendo videos or Nintendo related Let's Plays for the most part, and they use this money, I'm pretty sure, to put food on the table. So what then? They gonna have to go out and get a real job too? Just because Nintendo decides to be fucking dicks about it? And another thing is that I think this is just a money scam for Nintendo. To get more money off the ads, obviously. But why? Now, in an episode of Retsu Talk that Retsu Prey did one time, Slowbeef did mention something kind of interesting that I would still like to refute, and this was probably going to be a video response to that episode of Retsu Talk as well. In saying that this isn't just one CEO in Nintendo who's just doesn't understand, this is individual companies. And that's true. I can kind of see where he's coming from there. And I'm going to say this right now. Nintendo is worldwide. I'm not just talking about Nintendo of America or Nintendo of Japan. Nintendo worldwide is a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay? It's making multi-billions of dollars. Why do they need the rest of that fucking money? They don't. They're just greedy fucking assholes. And, you know, about what he said, you know, if it is true that it's the individual companies instead, then here's what they should do. I have a suggestion for them. Instead of bitching at the gamer for playing the games. They should bitch at Nintendo for underpaying them, because I'm aware that game developers are grossly underpaid. I'm aware of that, and they should be paid much more, okay? But it's not our fault that they're not paid more. It's Nintendo's fault. So they should petition Nintendo to pay them more, because it's not like Nintendo can't. Nintendo has the money to pay them. They have plenty of money to pay them. They just don't, because they're greedy fucking assholes, okay? They really are. So they should bitch at Nintendo instead of bitching at the gamer. There's that, alright? There's a couple more things I'd like to mention here, too, about this whole thing, alright? You know, and Nintendo's bitching about this? What about Sony? Sony's not complaining about any of this shit, and the same shit happens. In fact, you wanna know something? Sony is begging people to put their shit on the internet. Hell, they're providing the tools in the PlayStation fucking 4 for doing Let's Plays. They're making an even bigger profit off of doing the Let's Plays, because you have to buy a PlayStation 4 in order to be able to get that equipment with it. So they'll probably convince a lot more people to buy the PlayStation 4. You know, if Nintendo would have done that with the Wii U, do you realize how many fucking Wii U's probably would have been sold by now? God, and also Slowbeef brought up something about the 3 months rule, which I've heard of before. It's so you don't spoil the game too soon, wait till Let's Play it until for 3 months. And you know what? I don't understand this at all. If you want to let's play a fucking game, let's play a fucking game. I don't care if it's day one release. I would not care if it's day one release, even if I was a developer. And, you know, and DSP Gaming brought up something. I don't understand this logic myself, but this is his reason, and, you know, at least he actually has a reason other than because I fucking feel like it, like a lot of people have, you know. His reasoning is that if a game is 3 months old, it's not worth, because what he does is he does release day unboxings, he does his playthrough of the game, then he does a review of it. Alright. And his logic is that a game's not worth reviewing if it's 3 months old, because everyone's already talked about it to death, and there's nothing more he can say about it, positive or negative, that everyone else hasn't already. And so he basically just be repeating what everyone else said. I don't understand this myself. Personally, I'll review anything, but that's his opinion. No matter how old it is, but that's his opinion, and I respect that opinion. And, you know, at least he has a fucking reason. You have to give him that. At least he has a legitimate reason. Okay? So, yeah. And again, like I said before, Sony is begging people to put their shit on the internet. It's proof. There's proof of this because they're providing the tools in the PlayStation 4. But Nintendo, ooh, you know, they're not preventing people from putting their shit on there. They're just saying we want the fucking ad revenue. Which, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it at all. I mean, yeah, and that's just my whole thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to get this off my chest, because I think it's fucking horseshit. And some people are saying some people are partnered and making a living off, like DSP said he may just stop doing Nintendo games altogether. And you may say, well, that just means he's a greedy bastard. No, sir, he makes a living off of this. And if he wastes his time playing a game on his channel, and he won't even get the fucking revenue from it, what's the point when he could be playing a game on his channel that he would get the revenue for? You know what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense when you think about it. I'm not sure if Nintendo's actually started enacting this yet or not, or if it's just been a threat thus far. I'll have to look more into that, but I may put an annotation into telling you my findings, unless I'm completely fucking lazy and I just don't feel like looking into it. But yeah, I just wanted to get this off my chest, alright? And yeah, you know, Slowbeef or Diabetes or whatever, if you want to respond to this, feel free to in comment form or in video form. It doesn't really matter to me, as long as you get some sort of response from me, because this is, you guys are the main direction towards this that this video was towards now. I don't disrespect your opinions at all. I actually kind of like listening to that episode of Retsu Talk because it was very... I thought it was very... The discussion you had was very good, and there was... Proton John was in it, and there was even a Nintendo Capri Sun in the very background. He wasn't actually technically a part of the podcast, but whatever. Anyways, though, if you could give me a response to this in either video format or comment format, don't care which, then that'd be great, I guess. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.